paper. If we're going to be specific, weighted. Although I will be honest and say this morning, weighted graph paper tricked me because I was trying to draw a scale drawing, but this is weighted 5 to the inch, and then I went to do 1 1/4 inch, and 1 1/4 inch would be kind of complicated when it's 5 boxes per inch. So yeah, weighted graph paper's the best, but sometimes can trip you up. Yeah, where it's got darker lines every so often. Every 4, every 5, every 10. It depends on what kind of weighted paper you buy. Yeah, you're fine. Beatrix, what's the P? Yeah, you can cross out the word capital because that just makes it sound more complicated. P is principal, which we should write on here, means starting amount. And you can honestly, because we're going to be talking about money, starting money. Claire, what is the I? You're fine. Gus, what's the I? Interest, which is normally given to us as a rate or a percent, but we gotta use the decimal form. So I'm gonna, on the other side, make that reminder of like, it's gotta be the decimal form. So we can't, if it's like 13%, we don't use the number 13, we use 0.13, right? We're gonna use the decimal form. Sometimes they'll give us the rate, which is already in decimal form, but a lot of times they give us the percent. Crap! I'm ahead of myself. Sorry, that goes down here with the R. My bad, guys. I'll give you a minute to erase and whatever. If you're writing in pen, that's a choice you made. Sorry, this is actually money. I got ahead of myself.
Should we just like switch it?
I mean, if you'll be... So interest, if you want over here to label and just move this down to rate, like sure, that's fine. But this is money made. Or money earned. Interest is your money. Money made, money earned. T for time could be whatever. Could be years, could be days, could be weeks, could be minutes. Literally, T is just some unit of time. So we don't really need to write anything else there. So for example, Teresa invested $14.25. That's her principal. That's the starting amount at her local bank. Now, guys, this is where this is a misnomer. The bank pays a simple interest rate of 3.5%. That is your percent. It's not actually your rate yet. Because to get it to our rate, we need to put it into decimal form. So to get to our rate, 3.5% is really what decimal value? I just shouted out.
0.035.
Ooh, some of us are saying O instead of 0. Interesting. And that's why over here they use 0.035. And then Teresa leaves it in there for 4 years. Well, that should be obvious. That's our time. So we set up our PERT formula. Just like dirt formula. But, hold on. Guys, you can't tell your brain it's just like dirt because dirt had an E in it. PRT. Interest equals P times R times T. PERT, kind of, if you want to tell yourself that, but there's no E. So, interest equals PERT. All right. We're going to have a party.
Party! I'll bring the drinks. We are? Of course you are.
And because we're going to have a party... I'm way in the wrong place. Hold on, sorry. I edited my template. I messed up. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, my B. Alright, now we're good. Alright, we're going to have a party. Read the situation on your paper. Read the situation on your paper if you haven't yet.
Can I read it out loud?
Sure, Maddie, go ahead and read it out loud. Tell me what I should highlight.
Okay. The student council is planning a spring celebration. Unfortunately, to have the rent for the event, they will need to pay a deposit in advance of the event. Since they haven't started selling tickets yet, they asked the Parents Association for a loan of $825.
That feels important.
For the hall rental. The PTA agreed, but it would charge 2.5% principal loan is paid back. Mr. Becker, the student loan capital. Miss
It feels important to make sure we realize they're talking weeks.
Becker, the student council
Sucks.
advisor.
Now hold on. On your paper, I changed this. I made it Mr. Beck just because.
All this.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Beck, the student council advisor, explained to students that the amount of the loan, is called a principal amount. Until the loan is paid back,
Notice how they don't say capital principal.
until the loan is paid back, 2% is called the weekly interest rate. The principal amount will be added each week to the amount owed. A, how much money in interest will be being charged?
So let's pause there. Figure out A. Before we move on, you and your partner figure out A. How much extra money are we gonna have to pay back for every week we've loaned?
Am I gonna read it? Did I go fast?
No, you're good. It was great. You're not in this room for foundations, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Shama gave her a foundations presentation and she flew. She talks so
Yeah,
fast.
so did Henry.
But it's because she's like passionate. She loves that content.
No, and this, and Henry, he did like the FNAF, like, storyline, and going so fast, like,
Yes, you may use a calculator. Or, guys, how do we find 1%? Divide by 100 or move that decimal 2 places. So, guys, on your page... Ooh, I'm really zoomed in. Guys, if we're going to talk about 2%, we could make a little note here that 1% would be what? What's 825 divided by 100, Owen?
82.5.
Ooh, careful.
No, 8.25.
So that's 1%. So what is our 2% for each? Well, guys, if you want to set up the formula so you have it written on your paper, principal times rate times time. But we already, okay, if 8.25 is 1 week, or sorry, 1%, double that to get to 2%, what's our weekly interest?
16.5.
And with money, we always want to put that second decimal place because money always has that second decimal place. Not bad, right? But like, it kind of sucks. We're going to have to pay an extra $16 back for every week that we've borrowed the money. I don't know that the PTA would actually do that to us, but it is a good learning experience. Like, have anyone, and you're still pretty young to have done this, but has anyone ever been in a situation where you wanted to buy something like new laptop, new whatever, and your parents are like, sure, we'll let you buy it, but like you have to pay us back, and you like pay them back over time? Yeah, so that, but your parents probably didn't charge you interest, did they? So Simon, how'd your parents work it? They charge you like a flat certain dollars each week, or did they do a percentage, or like how did they talk?
I think they did like a low percentage, but like every week I'd have to up a little bit.
So, with simple interest, the point of me saying this, that does not simple like the E word, it's simple versus the other kind of interest. Anyone think you know? Will? How do you know this? So compound interest is the interest that really sucks. Interest automatically, like if you're paying back more money, that automatically sucks. Hey, give me a minute maybe of like, some of you aren't paying attention. This is not what we have to learn, but it's like you should know it to do life.
No, we appreciate you. This is what we learned. Like, this is what all the posts are about how school never teach you anything. We love this, sir. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. So our principal, Mr. Flynn, no, I'm joking. Our principal is $825. We just said every week we're going to have to pay an extra.
$60.
I'm going to have to sit over here for a second. All right, so simple interest. This is why it's simple. Then we'll talk about compounds sucking a whole lot.
No, the blue. The
Dance.
blue.
I need my pen. That's what the dance means. I don't know why this is like a dad thing, but you ever catch your dads where they're like
Yeah!
checking their
No.
pockets to make sure like
No, sir.
it's like the hokey pokey.
My dad doesn't do that. He always like he looks around the room. He's like, Dad, just you do it in your head. You don't need to like.
No, you gotta do
No,
the
sir.
dance.
And my dad, he always wears like cargo shorts, so then
Oh my
his shorts
God.
are like this, and he's got like 25 pockets on each leg, and he's like,
25 pockets.
no, I'm serious.
All right, week 1, we'd owe them an extra $16.50. Week 2, like if we pay them back the second week, we had that $16.50 from the first week and another $16.50 for the second week. If we pay them back after 3 weeks, well, this would be 0 weeks, right? This is when we took the loan. So now it happens again. And then if we take an entire month to pay them back,
Oh my god, that's so sad.
it gets worse.
Oh my
Okay, so that's simple. That's simple interest, right? Claire, you want to make a guess about compound?
I was gonna ask, why don't you just make a rule into it so it can be like W is weeks, and then you can say how many weeks, and then times it by 16.5 plus the 825.
We have that rule.
We do?
It's this formula. So if we want to calculate how much money this would have been, okay, let's say 4 weeks. So let's go back to what we did with, well, hold on. Our paper says 3, let's just do 3 weeks. So 825.
49.
Now hold on, be careful. Because read what it's asking. How much will we owe?
Oh, it's that plus the original.
Ooh,
825
we
plus-
gotta add with the original.
Wait, how much did we pay? 825?
So wait, what did we get for the interest of 3 weeks? Give me just the interest.
We got-
Owen?
49.50 cents.
So then the balance. Now I'm really doubting myself if it's A or E.
It equals.
Is it an A?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, on your math notes, the one other formula you might want to write down, the BIP formula.
The bit?
The BIP formula.
The bit?
Balance equals the interest plus the principal. The BIP formula. So our balance, the final that you owe, is the interest that we just accrued, the extra,
874 point.
but then we also have to add 825.
Which equals 800. Sorry, yeah, which equals 874.50 cents. Whew. Dollars. You know what I mean. It works.
All right, let's try that for 8 weeks. So 825 times 0.02 times 8.
Oh. Okay, if we did.
Ooh, you can recycle the math in your calculator. If you hit second entry, it'll pull the... So this times 8 now.
Wait, I got
Sorry, I forgot my 0 in front of the...
$1,007.
So wait, hold on. How much was the interest?
What? It was.
$132.
The interest is 132? That
Yes.
sucks.
I know for real, right?
So wait, now the balance will be...
$1,007.
What? I got 957.
Yeah, I think you accidentally added that with the 874 or something like that. This 132 gets added with 825, or you just typed a number wrong.
Maybe.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
I mean, if I asked you without you looking at a calculator, 825 plus 132, I know you would tell me it's not over 1,000. Right? Like, yeah. So what'd you guys get? 9 what?
$957. Sorry, I love my math. I don't.
Wait, so do we add the
No, for real.
870?
No, so that was if we paid them back after 3 weeks. But now it's if we paid them back after 8
Oh,
weeks.
no, what I did was I did 875 instead of 820.
That makes sense because you were 50 over, right? You were 50 too high. All right, you guys want to learn about compound interest sucking a whole lot?
Yay!
All right, so this image is gonna change. Will, do you want to try? Like, this is a lot for a 7th grader to try to explain. So, guys, if Will trips up on this, you got to give him some grace because this is complicated. It's called compound.
I believe in you.
I believe in you too. Will.
Compound interest is where money that the loan that you paid for the loan, you add that to the total that you owe, and then it compounds after that. It keeps on adding another 2% after. It adds 2% on the extra money that's added to the like you're supposed to pay.
So this is a 2% increase, right?
Right.
Now,
It's a 2% increase from that.
now our principal
Oh wait, that.
is this. And now we have actually 800, there's 41.50. Do 2% of that. Like, do that times 0.02.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, give me a second. Wait. 8.
Yeah, I can understand why this sucks.
Because now your 2% increase that added 16.50. Sorry, what is it?
16.83.
Now it's adding 16.83. Do that plus 841.5.
See, I see.
Now 858 point what?
That's a really.
And now 2% of this.
17.1666.
Guys, compound interest sucks.
It's good when you put your money.
And guess what? That's how a lot of credit cards work.
Oh.
And this is why credit cards are a giant scam. Now, do you think I don't use credit cards? Of course I use credit cards. But the trick is, pay it off.
Oh, for real.
When you put money on your credit card, when you take a loan, the longer it sits there, the more you owe. I can pull up my credit card statement right now and show you, it's like 25% interest. Because credit cards, yeah, people are making eyes at me. The lowest rate you can probably get on a credit card is 18% interest.
Oh, right.
18%? Are you kidding? So your parents go and they buy you that Christmas present that you want, right? They spend $1,000. I mean, hopefully you're not asking for $1,000. Well, it's an easy,
PS5.
it's an easy reference point.
You know,
Okay?
I
I said the bad, but 1,000 is a nice number. Hold on. So you put, guys, your iPhone, if you buy it outright, costs like $1,000.
For real.
For real. If you put this on a credit card, after a month, you get charged your 18% interest. What's 18% of 1,000?
Where is it? Wait, give me a second. Wait, let me do the math. Yes, it's like 1,180.
Now, the iPhone you just bought for $1,000 actually cost you $1,180. But wait, that month the car breaks down and you got to pay for the car that's broken down. So this sits on the credit card. And then the interest happens again. This is why people go like bankrupt with credit cards. You gotta pay off your debt. Because the longer it sits there, the bigger it gets. And guys, I legit know this because my dad works for a bank. This is why the federal government had to step in and essentially, I'm trying to make a metaphor, but they essentially had to tell banks, knock it off. You're driving people into debt, taking their houses, taking their car. They had to put laws into place about when they send you a credit card statement, it will tell you now, if you only make the minimum payment, how long it will take you to pay off your debt. Because your minimum payment on this might just be $100. But if I pay $100 and the interest was $180, did I actually pay anything off?
No.
No. Yeah. And they were letting people do that. They were saying, oh, you only need to pay us $100, but your interest is $180. So, next month you only have to pay us $100, but now you're, and all of a sudden you got thousands of dollars in debt. It is just rude. Well, hopefully you don't adore banks. That's the thing I care about. All right, so now, and this is why DJ Hud, well, you guys don't even know DJ Hudcat, because DJ Lee J DJ for us. We got to hire a DJ and a photographer, right? You can't have a party without a DJ and a photographer. For this, I love your volunteerism, but for this problem, we need to pay them. Because it's a math problem.
Okay.
All right, $1,000 to pay for the DJ and the photographer. Dude, photographers are expensive, and actual DJs are expensive.
No,
I'm not an actual DJ.
My mom's wedding. Well, yeah, my parents' wedding, their thing was
Actually, that's a lie. I had DJ weddings, so I guess technically I can. All right. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
PTSA, hold on, this problem's different. PTSA says, hey, we'll cover that cost also, and we'll only charge you $18 each week.
Only.
And you're a critical thinker, and you're like, is that better than the 2%? Or are they trying to screw us over? So we need to figure out what percent this is. So forget about part A. Like, we just did a bunch of 2%, right? We could do that again. We're just going to change the principle. But let's talk about part B. If they charge us $18 a week, so guys, on graph paper or somewhere, right, let's set up our PERT formula again. Hey, Bert. Makes me think Bert nerdy. Hey, Bert.
No, for
Oh my god, I remember when they would get on their bunk beds and like start flying and then they'd like be in some alternate dimension.
Do
I
we
love that.
know
That was so good.
our I this time? Yes. Alex, what is it?
2%.
Ooh, remember I's the money. I know we labeled that wrong at first, so I hope you changed it. I's the money added on. 18, right? They're saying they're only going to add on $18 each week. Do we know the principal? $1,000 for the DJ and the photographer. Do we know the rate?
Yes. No, we don't.
No.
18 equals
They
10,000.
told us $18. They didn't tell us the rate. So we're just going to leave that as R. And do we know the time? Nick? A week. Each week. 1 week, right? So wait, what does multiplying by 1 do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So just like.
How do I isolate the R?
Divide by 1,000.
Divide by 1,000. Because this 1 doesn't really matter. Oh. So wait, what percent are they charging us now?
1.8.
So is this better or worse than 2%?
Better.
This is better. The $18 a week would be better than
I
the
guess
2%.
I wanted to when I said the same was
It's like 0.2%, but it's better.
It's better.
think
It's
better's
better than
better.
nothing.
Money is
Do
money.
you want $10 or $12? Like, I mean, better's better, right? Like, any money's money. Questions on how we just got to the rate when they gave us everything else? Because each week it would save us over and over and over again, right? Because that's going to happen every single week. So this is the breakdown of what our simple interest looks like, right? But exactly like Claire said, we can just use that formula to avoid having to do something like this, because this is silly. To keep adding over and over, like that's silly. We would rather use the formula.
I did
Claire?
have a question on the last one.
Okay, on the last one.
If there was a rate, what would you do?
What do you mean?
Like user was 100 times R, and the one wasn't there. And you divide
So if there was a rate, they wouldn't be giving us the interest amount, or they wouldn't be giving us the time. There would be something else we need to solve for. So,
Just give us the
funny that
information.
you are asking that question.
Why-
So here's what it would look like, right? And
why wouldn't the-
I'm just saying, I'm trying to judge time and if I actually want to do this question.
I can read it.
I know you can.
Can I?
Pretty sure everyone
I'm just kidding what to do. Honestly, I might have us go look at a homework question.
No, serious. Sorry. No, I did forget my.
So, real quick, because I want to make sure that we get these highlighted on our homework, and I don't know that you guys always have highlighters with you.
I do. We have them in the bucket that you gave us.
I know, that's why I'm saying do this now. On your homework, monthly interest rate, and then they give us months. But, part B, weekly interest rate, and they give us months, What do you think we're going to need to do to months?
Convert.
Yeah.
Make it into weeks. And how many weeks are there actually in a year? It's more than 48, because if you say 4 weeks, 50.
56.
Wait, aren't there 3 weeks in each month?
It's 7.
Oh. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking of. 48.
No. I already said it's not 48. Literally said that out loud. How many days are in a year?
360.
How many days are in a week?
7. Dang, that was-
There are 52.142857. Ooh, does anyone remember this decimal? 0.142857, 142857.
1/7.
It's 1/7 because that's one extra day. In a year, there are 52 weeks and one extra day. And that's why every year you shift one day. Guys, I literally got confused last night and my buddy made fun of me because I thought we had a meeting tonight. And he's like, bro, what are you talking about? And I said, November 16th. And he goes, of 2022. Because I was looking at the wrong event on Facebook and I didn't pay attention to the year. And he was like, bro, we do not have a meeting tomorrow. That was a year ago. And I was like, oh, well, that's funny because everything shifts a day, right? So last year's November 16th was Wednesday. This year's November 16th is Thursday. Next year's will be Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Unless there's a leap year.
I learned that so early on.
Owen, or was that what you were going to say about leap year? Yeah. All right. But
Mine was on November 13th, and I think it was on a Tuesday. And I was really sad that it was on a Tuesday, because, we don't like middle of the week birthdays. But I was really happy because it was on Friday 13th. Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, if we want to do a homework problem together, I just need you to pause. I appreciate your permission. Let's look at 91 together. This is like real life, guys. This is like stuff that your parents have had to think about. They have saved up $23,000 in the past couple years. And if you ever watch HGTV or whatever, it's always like, we've saved up this much for the remodel. We've saved up this much to move. It is better to save up because then you don't have to borrow. But if you've only saved up a certain amount and you need more than that, you can borrow the difference, right? Like the amount you don't have. So to do that, we're first going to need to do what in this problem? Subtract. So let's start by what's 40,000 minus 23,000?
17,000.
So that difference is 17,000. Monthly rate, that feels important. 6 months. Go ahead and try to calculate what their $17,000 will actually turn into.
It's not happening. Okay.
Right now, if you were to go buy a house, 8.3% interest. 8%. Guys, these problems talking about 2%, this doesn't happen anymore. 2%, so, humble brag, legit humble brag, during the pandemic, we saw a recession, right? We saw, because no one was out, no one was shopping, no one was going to live music or sports or whatever, because everything shut down. So interest rates dropped because people were not borrowing money, and the banks were like, we got all this money, somebody borrow it, we need to make money off you. The banks aren't making money if you don't borrow their money. So rates kept dropping, and I've talked about my house before, so obviously my wife and I bought a house a few years ago. We did what's called refinancing. We refinanced at 2 1/8. 2.125 is the rate that I got locked into for our house. But now, just 3 years later, because that was 2021. I think it was 21 when the rates were at 2%. So now, 2 years later, 8.3%. The last time rates got above 8%, you want to guess how long they stayed above 8%?
1947.
I'm not even saying when. I'm saying, do you want to guess how long? Because people are like, oh, rates will come down. Let's just wait. Rates will come down. 15 years. Last time rates went above 8%, they were there for 15 years.
Oh, that's so sad.
So to just say, oh, I'll wait, rates will come down, that's not guaranteed. Now, the banks will give you a better rate if you do a 15-year, because that you're paying off more quickly, and they don't have to deal with you for as long. But yeah, and then ARM is adjustable rate mortgage. So adjustable rate, your rate might change, which could be good, could be bad. Right? Adjustable rate mortgages are their own like ball of wax all in itself. What do we get here for interest amount? I know you guys are too excited about my storytelling.
I know for me though, right?
$2,040.
Wait, what?
200.
2,040?
Yes.
So now our 17,000 has turned into a final balance $19,040. Man, if we had waited like another year, maybe we could have saved up the rest of it, but I guess we'll just pay this extra 2,000 sometime. Because guys, you could have just waited and saved up and not paid the extra 2,000. But if you want it now, you're going to have to pay interest. So I hope you start to get a bit more sympathetic of your parents and what they go through when you're like, I want. Of course they want to buy everything for you. Can they? No. Because, like, money is a finite thing. Alex?
Because of that, I always feel bad whenever I want something.
I mean, when it's necessary and you actually need it. Like, we need to go to lunch right now, so by the way, like, we're out of time. But, like, when it's a necessary thing, that's fine. But it's like, I want all of these Funko Pops. It's like, what are you doing with Funko Pops? Like, I need every single new video game. I need the new iPhone as soon as it comes out. Like, you gotta stop. Will, I can see you coming toward. Ooh, let me stop the recording real quick.